Hello, hello. Welcome to another evening with me. I hope you had a great day. This is Nala Namaste, where you must live and learn so you don't get burned. Today is the first evening of a two-part series on loving yourself. Do you love yourself? What does that mean? What does that look like? I'm going to tell you what that means. I'm going to tell you what that looks like. Because unfortunately, there are people who go to the grave and never have that opportunity to love themselves. Loving yourself is extremely hard. Let me be clear. It's not easy. It's a process, right? But in order for you to do it, you must first admit and realize that you don't love yourself. A lot of loving yourself stems from childhood. We are taught love or hate when we grow up. And depending on what we are exposed to as children, it plays a critical role in who we are as parents, who we are as people, right? How we function day to day, decisions we make, all of that stems from our childhood, right? So, one of the things that you really need to understand is that in order to love yourself, you got to break it down, right? I know last week I spoke about loving your body. Loving your body plays a role in loving yourself. If you don't care what you put in your body, drugs, alcohol, compulsive eating, that is a clear sign that you don't fully love yourself. Because if you're not willing to nourish your body in a positive way, that means either you don't like your body or you just don't care. You're checked out. So that's another indicator that you don't love yourself. You as a whole, you have to love yourself internally and externally. It's very hard to love yourself because growing up, or even as adults, you're going to hear negative things about how you look. You're going to hear negative things about your personality. I've always been told that I'm too aggressive, I'm too outspoken. So much that as an adult, I began to believe that those things were negative, which starts to play mind games with you, and then you're kind of like, can I love myself if something's wrong with me? Is something wrong with me because I'm outspoken and aggressive? Although this is the way God made me, is something wrong with me? So that's what I mean. If people keep feeding you something verbally, you're going to eventually believe it. Oh, you're ugly. I might be ugly to him and cute to him, ugly to her, cute to her. People are always going to have something negative to say. But you have to be strong enough to know that God made us all different for a reason. So when you hear from somebody something negative, you got to turn it into a positive. You got to keep telling yourself that God made me this way so that I can make a difference in someone else's life, including my own, right? So you got to keep those things in mind so that you can start a clear path of loving yourself. If you are in a verbally abusive relationship or a physically abusive relationship, and you keep giving that person the opportunity to be verbally abusive or physically abusive, you don't love yourself, because you should love yourself enough to know that you deserve better than what you're getting in that relationship. But if you stay in a dysfunctional relationship, That means you do not love yourself because you're willing to put yourself through that mental anguish, through that mental and physical abuse. When you love yourself, you say, pump the brakes. I deserve better than this. So I'm going to go out there and get better. And you leave the relationship as hard as it is. I don't care if y'all been together 10 years, 15, 20, 30, even 40. I don't care if you have 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 6 kids. You deserve to be respected. You deserve to be loved the correct way. If someone does any of those things to you that are negative, they don't love you. You're not supposed to talk down to people you love. You're supposed to love yourself and others, right? Unconditionally. So, on part 2 of this, I will have some websites for you. I will have some books for you. Got to give you your tools, right? So you can get on the right path. I promise I will do that. This first part will be short and sweet for you. I just want to also close and say that you have to take a moment and get in tune with what you're feeling. Now, ladies, there's always going to be something we don't like about ourselves, right? Our lips, our hair, our hips, right? Embrace your flaws. Love who you are. Because at the end of the day, what did RuPaul say? I love RuPaul. So fierce, so fabulous. What did RuPaul say though? If you don't love yourself, how in the what can somebody else? You have to start with you. You have to start with the person in the mirror. We all have things that we're insecure about, men and women. But when you embrace your flaws, those insecurities go away. When you embrace who you are as an individual, as a person, personality traits and all, when you respect the fact that my personality is different from yours for a reason, you can love yourself easier. I hope that you will tune in next week. I will have a guest with me. She is an amazing woman. We will have a sit-down heart-to-heart of the importance of loving yourself. It's going to be a little deeper than tonight, so have an open mind and an open heart so that we can get down to the nitty-gritty and so that you can start to love yourself. You'll feel so much better. So much better, I promise. So until next week, same time. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste. I hope you had a fierce day.